related to the final year's studio in UTM. Yes. So how many students will be joining us today, this afternoon?
We hope that gonna be on 1 o'clock and it
Mm.
60 more than 60 because it's we try because we it is compulsory for the studio perancangan 6 ya.
Okay. All right. I will share like three projects here on urban and also urban heritage project here.
Yeah, great. So
Mm.
also yeah, um because most of them the student is the final years, so I think it's gonna be very great if you shares about the tips
Mm.
and trick or study
Yeah.
case how
Yeah.
to see the problem from the angle of the white area or the landscape area and how to
Okay.
problem and solve the problem.
All right. Okay. Understand. Yeah, because same like our student here in UTM, when we talk about the topic like how to generate a concept, it's not just a name for the concept, yeah, but the implementation of solving problem is the must. Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
the also how, what are they gonna do? Or sometimes they pick the theme of the green architecture building, green ecology, low
mm,
carbon,
oh,
eco district,
all the big title
a big
topic.
big idea. But when we see how you develop this, how the technical things you solve this,
Okay.
they quite confused.
Mm,
Yeah, it's not really we are in architect, we will comes up with the
mm,
micro and meso things concept, right?
yeah,
Sometimes
yeah, understand. Mm-mm. Okay, green building, yeah.
yes.
All right. But when you for the architecture students, how big is the site area for their final year project?
It's depend on them. Are they gonna pick the wet area as a we call it the perancangan kawasan, or they just want to focus on the
Building.
building, the system
Oh,
building, or
okay.
the beautification of the building itself. So
Mm,
it's depend on them. It's on their interest, but most of them is uh, it's coming. The idea is coming from the students, not from the lecture.
mm.
So we
So
try.
no, there is no one standard requirement that student
Sure.
must follow this like 10 acres. No. So you don't
Uh,
have this of guideline, yeah?
Not really, but we try to encourage them to more complex problems, yeah, to be solved.
Yes, understand. Okay, I have one students who I asked her to join. Is it okay for you?
Yeah, sure, sure.
Akila, I think she's here right
Oh,
now.
Uh,
sure.
Ibu
It's
Ibu
very
Ruli,
welcome.
She
Yeah,
just joined UTM.
Ibu
Okay.
Ruli and Dr. Lee for adding information
Yes.
on this final studio.
Mm-hmm.
Is a thematical design concept, so they can choose what they want to build. So
Mm,
search is more complexity. Yeah,
complex, yeah.
yeah, it's more complex.
Okay, it's just my thoughts. If your site is at urban area, then the site you should not just take like one building. Yeah? It should have the context.
Yes.
If not, some of the design topic is cannot apply the impact when you design. You cannot see clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
As
is
long
what we
as
call
they
it.
can, yeah, as long as they can make the great design for the
Mm,
project.
yeah, yeah. Understand.
yeah, and also thank you very much, Butiwi, for the adding information. The other thing, yeah, it's very welcome. Your students can join our class. Well, actually, we can do both.
Yeah, maybe I will share one to my student group.
Next year, maybe we can make a share. We
Because
provide
why,
both.
Dr. Rudy, sorry, because today is a studio day. Some of the student they have studio
Oh, they have
from
studio.
morning to afternoon. Not all the student, yeah, all the student they have studio. Yeah, for Monday and Thursday. Sorry,
And then
Thursday. So yeah.
we would like also to welcome Pak Bambang. Terima kasih mau hadir, bisa hadir. Ada Bu
Thank
Afi.
you. Nice to meet all of you.
Yeah. Hello.
Dr. Lee for
Hello,
Yeah.
Dr. Lee.
Hello.
Yeah, maybe my name is rather stranger, Pembeng. Yeah,
Yeah, but okay, but in here, I know what's one of the, I know one of the Malaysian also has the
Malaysian.
same this name. We call it Bang Bang.
Oh,
How you
yeah,
pronounce
yeah,
it in Indonesia? It's Bang Bang.
yeah, Bambang.
Bang Bang. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Uh,
So, Dr. Lee, for your information, in
mm,
this class, we have 6 lectures joined with this studio Perancangan 6. We have our senior lecturer, Pak Bambang Triratma, and then we have Ibu Afi Marlina, Ibu Tiwi, and then not yet joined, Ibu Tiwi. We also have Pak Made, Ibu Nunu Hardiati. So, yeah.
And Patitis.
Patitis, yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Uh,
so you are divided into six, yeah? Oh no, sorry.
into 6,
Six
yeah,
work bases.
I think 6 classes.
Six class, yeah. Okay, understand.
So one
Oh.
lectures will have around 10 students because it's
I see. Okay.
4 credit. It's really exhausted.
Mm,
So we should produce in the final project. We should recommend the big design concept, and then that's why we just only have 10 for one lectures.
okay.
And then we will have 2 times meetings in a week. So we have Monday and also we have on Wednesday for 2
Wednesday.
hours.
Oh, okay. So how long is the meeting? Is it the whole day, like from 9 to 5 or 9 to 3?
Uh,
It depends.
well, actually for the studio is whole day, yeah. But then we decide to divide 2 times in a week. It's just only 2.5 hours meeting for discussion, critics, design,
Okay.
just like that. Okay, Bu, I think really helps, but the students not yet join on 1 o'clock. They are really busy now.
Okay, understand. It's okay. Maybe we just wait for a while and see. Yeah, it's okay for me. Yeah.
But I think the professor already here. I mean, the
All the docent is here, right?
those
All the lecturers is here.
the students are really busy now. I'm doing here. I'm here. And they can do many other tasks while they have lectures. That's the advantage of these online lectures. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, we to Bu Tiwi.
Yes. Ya, Bu.
Mau dimulai sekarang?
Boleh?
Okay, we can start now and
Yes. Oke. Dimulai saja nggih, Bapak Ibu?
monggo, monggo. Yeah.
Oke. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon and
Waalaikumsalam.
welcome to the guest lecture today. I would like to extend my warm welcome to the lecturer of Architecture Design Studio 6 and Dr. Lee Yokelai from University Technology Malaysia, and the student of Architecture Design Studio UNS and the student of UTM Malaysia. And of course, for all participants, for giving your honor presence to this guest lecture, Think and Generate Landscape Design Concept. This lecture is a series of guest lecture session from collaborations of URDC and University Technology Malaysia. This guest lecture provides a great opportunity for students and other participants to share and discuss their knowledge, their research, and their experiences in dealing with landscape design. Okay, let's begin. I would like to invite to this screen or to this room to deliver her speaker, Dr. Leo Kelai from Faculty of Built Environment, Department of Architecture Landscape, University Technology Malaysia. The speaker will be moderated by Ibu Kusumaningdiah Nurul Handayani from Universitas 11 Maret. Please welcome Dr. Lee and Ibu Ruli. Have a place, Ibu.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you very much.
you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm really happy being here. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. As Ibu Tiwi was mentioned before, that today's lecture is actually it's already on the second time Dr. Lee delivered the presentation or the lectures going to the University 11 Maret Department of Architecture, and we have a joint collaboration in the program of inbound program visiting professor from UTM going to UNS. Not only Dr. Lee, we also have another events with the program Magister Architecture Universitas 11 Maret. We will invite also Professor Ismail, professor from Architecture Landscape UTM, a senior of the Dr. Lee. We will have events for another topic class. It's more advanced, and hope the students or the audience here that seeing us in YouTube or in this Zoom lectures, all you also can invite and join this class, even though it's really advanced. Yeah, for tomorrow meeting is about the how to make the proposal dissertation. Yeah, Dr. Lee.
Yeah. Constructing a PhD literature review in PhD studies. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, most all of you can join with us and how to see the if yeah in the future if you would like to continue your study too. And then yeah, today's is a more advanced topic, think and generate landscape design concept. But before I come to Dr. Lee, I would like to say hello for the some lectures that have been joined here. Like I was mentioned, welcome to Pak Bambang, Bu Afi, Bu Nunu, Bu Tiwi, Pat Titis, probably already here. Maybe we'll join also Ibu Wiwi. Even though all the students not yet could coming and join us on time, but we really hope that they can join later.
Okay. All right.
Total students that will join is gonna be on 80 students because all of the lectures coming in this panel sessions, yeah. And
Understand.
then before that, I would like to share the profile of Dr. Lee. So me and Dr. Lee already meet a long time before. It was 2 years, yeah, Dr. Lee.
Yeah, 2 years ago. So,
Years ago, we have the joint workshop designs. At the time, RMUTT, Raja Mangkala University Technology University in Thailand, invited us to have the workshop joint projects. And we bring 6 students from UNS coming, join this workshop design, also meet Dr. Lee and Professor
Sapra.
Sapra
Yeah, Sapra Muhammad. Yeah.
Muhammad and Dr. Lee students. So that's why we continue to keep intense communication, and we are really happy now that today from the World Class University program, we can invite Dr. Lee and Professor Ismail going to UNS by online. We really hope that in the next year, if the COVID already go away, we can have joint workshop designs, whether it will be held in colloquium in Malaysia, we're
Malaysia,
going to,
yes.
or
Yeah,
we will
agree.
invite
Mm,
totally coming to Jogja Solo.
Future. Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Dr. Lee was graduate from the Department of Urban Engineering, graduate school, the University of Tokyo, Japan. And the doctoral dissertation of Dr. Lee the title is about study on evolution of a heritage tin mining tone, a case typing in Perak, Malaysia. Are you under Nishimura Sensei, Dr. Lee?
Yeah. Actually, my sensei with Nishimura and also Aya Kubota. Yes.
Aya Kubota.
Yes, it's my sensei.
Fine. In Japanese studies, if you know your professor, they will make a bow with you, not only because the person knowing you, but they really knowing well your professor, who is your professor. And
Yeah.
yeah, Nishimura Sensei is one of the senior lecturers in Tokyo University that have a big name. So yeah, I really impressed with Nishimura Sensei because on 2005 we have a 1 month joint workshop design in India at the time. So
Okay.
that's why I have a close relations with Nishimura for the communications.
I see. It's good. Great.
Yeah, and then but now he already retired. Yeah,
Retire. Yes.
and Dr. Lee now is a committee member of subgroup Active Learning for Program Future Ready Educator.
Yes.
And it's true.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
And also vice president of IFLA World Student Design Competition by 2002 and 2001.
Yeah.
And now is a current member of Urban Design and Environmental Research Group,
Yes.
UA. And you also in the laboratory of, here's in the backside,
Yes.
Urban
The urban.
and
Yeah. Urban
Environmental
design and environmental. Yes.
Laboratory. I think it's similar with what we are doing in
Yeah.
rural design and conservation. So
Yes.
we have having a lot of activities together. Yeah. Okay, Dr. Lee will present about think and generate landscape design concept around 25 minutes, and after that we are continuing with the question and
Yeah.
answer.
Q&A. Yes. Yeah.
And the students have a please to mute all your equipment, and then if you already have a question, please put on the chat, and you can also join a question, giving us the questions in the YouTube, because we did the live, we do the live streaming service, yeah, in these lectures. So have a place to put the question there. Yeah, Dr. Lee,
Okay.
are you ready now?
Yes, yes, thank you. Okay, first of all, yeah, thank you, Dr. Ruli, and also the Ibu TV have a great introductions to this program, as well as introduce me myself. Again, I will say hello to everyone. Good afternoon, selamat petang ya to everyone. Thank you again to invite me to share a second input lectures on related to landscape architectures. Yeah, giving me a very great opportunity here to share some knowledge with all of you. For me, I will make it this session is more like, beside I'm sharing, is more like we from me and your side to change and maybe some knowledge on thoughts. Yeah, because I appreciate that we have later we can have more discussions after my input lecture. Yeah, because I personally I would like to know that some of your feedbacks or some question maybe I can help you. Yeah, I will answer later. All right. Without further ado, yes, I will start with my input. Yeah, okay, Dr. Ruli. Yeah, I'm also thank you to all the docents who have to have your time to join as well. Yeah, let's us share about this, and then we will discuss. Yeah, after my lectures. Okay, can you see my slide? Yeah. Okay. All right. Uh, a simple title that I was think that is important to the School of Architecture as well as in a landscape architecture. When we talk about think and generate landscape design concept. Yeah. Okay. Before I go to these the expectations of the final year projects, I would like to share a little about the final year student in UTM. Yeah. Okay, so basically, for the final year students, we have the thesis 1 and 2. So which means the final year student will be going to complete their thesis within a years. So students are giving freedom to choose their topic which they prefer based on their own interests or maybe their expertise. So we as lecturers or docents, our task is to advise them, to guide them until the completion of their final year's projects. So beside the students, they are going to do a live project. They also needed to produce a thesis or report, you call it, at the end of the semester. Yeah, this is one of the requirement for the student to pass their final year to get a bachelor degree. Yeah, all right. Okay, so I will share with you what is the expectation for final year. Yeah, okay. So I think these lectures for today is shared to all the students who at this from the studio of Studio Perancang Architectures Enam. So I believe all of you now is final year students. Yeah, so I share these 4 points here. Is what I experienced through when guiding the final year student. So first of all, when you handle with your final year projects, uh, you need to be able to explain a client brief, site analysis, and evaluate for your design a master plan. This is early stage. So secondly, uh, when you start to do your design, um, it is a time for you to develop your argument and communications idea clearly, which means once you have completed your site inventory analysis, you have to, the next step is you put your synthesis idea to develop your design on plan. This is what I call it, how for you to express your communication idea. Okay, so number 3 is you're able to work to detail up the landscape design solution. Okay, so this is important for final year students. Yeah, if you compare to my last week lectures, I'm sharing more about the process for the low year students. But for final year student, you have to work your project individually, right? Independently as well. So the design solution, it should be a specific, which means that when you do or dealing with the project, is based on your team. Let's say if you deal with the project of low carbon, you need to have the understanding on low carbon theory as well as like a green building. So you need to have that knowledge as well. It is more like apply on the technical beside you have the design skill. Yeah. So this is very important for final year students. So the last one is, as I said just now, you have to adapt and learn independently based on the project scopes, to understand what are the potential or the constraint in your projects. So if you can grasp these four of the, if you can work with these 4 criterias or your focus, I think you are able to complete your project. Yeah, well, all right. This is just a tips for the final year students. Yeah. Okay, I will move to the next. Since my area is in landscape architectures, I think we have the same, similar to architecture's design process as well. So basically, you will start with the site inventories, and second, continue by to determine your client brief, uh, produce a functional diagram, or you call it as a bubble diagram, develop a concept, which is, I will share the main topic for me today, a concept plans. And final is your product, your design plan in master plan or detail area. Okay, so back to the landscape, yeah. Because when you talk about landscape design, design for people space is important because I believe same like in architectures, you design for people and space as well. But in landscape, our scope is more wider. We include also the function of the space, outdoor, and also the surrounding environment. So partly, people are the main subject. We integrate space, function, and environment. So when you do a design, these are the partly for you like a checklist. So you have to ask yourself, does your design cater or not these requirements? Yeah, it's simple. So when you focus on design, just think about, are your design fit for people, space, function, and environments? Okay, I will move to next. All right, I will go through a quite lengthy of this, but it's just a tips for you. I got it from Hansen 2009. in his journal, he mentioned there is a 10 things or tips you have to consider when you do a landscape design process. First of all, you have to understand your site. Yes, it's true, because your site is your main subject. Yeah, when you start to do a project, without understanding your site, I don't think you can go further. Yeah, the next step. So remember, secondly, is you remember the users. So who is your client? Who is the users? Yeah, of your projects, because you need to know that your design proposal, this project or this project solution, who is your target users? Yeah. Third is use a form or style or theme. Yeah, this is more related to the concept. So when you start with the concept, you will think about the how to create a space, to link the space, consider the plants, design material, the type of planting, to highlight the important points of space connections. Okay, but for landscape architecture, we are also focused more on the detail parts like selecting of the material, and also consider like the maintenance that's suitable for the design. This is basically just a tips for you, but I believe in architecture itself, you also have your own list. Yeah, just a basic idea. Okay, all right. Now, yeah, this is my today important subject, yeah, to share with you on the conceptual plans. So when we think about doing concept, can say that some student, they will feel like it's hard for me when you do a concept. But when you look at concept, is partly is important. Yeah, it's a transition when you start with your site inventory analysis. The concept should be at the middle parts of the process for you to produce a design plan. Okay, so you are the one who going to decide the project, right? So the concept plan, you are the one who determine the directions, what you going to put in your idea. So in school, in UTM, I'm not sure how about in UNS itself, uh, we will start to educate the lower students to learn about what is a functional diagram. I think you have the same thing, right, Dr. Rudy? Yeah. So
Yeah.
we have several names. Some people will call it as a bubble diagram, but you can call it as a basic name as a functional diagram. Okay, for me, doing a functional diagram or this flow chart is can quite very subjective. Some students, they have a lot of idea when they develop this, but it is depend on individual, right? So basically, when you start your concept, it's good to you start it manually. Don't put everything yet in the computer. Everything on your free hand. Just grab a pens, a pencil, to start to scribble what is the idea that you're going to plan and to fit in your site. Okay, so this I call it as a functional diagram. The next one is the schematic. So normally you will see that the schematics plans, you will put in the functional diagram on the site plan as well, on the site plan. It is an overlay process, which means you have to fit the actual site. Yeah, is a process, yeah, a transition, your idea. So when okay, I will move backwards. When in the functional diagram, you have more freely to think. Let's say you design a space in the architecture, right? You don't limit yourself that you need to fit the space first. Throw in your idea, throw out your idea first, put on the paper. Okay, one come to the schematic, yeah, or we call it a prelim, yeah, or schematic first. You will start to fix in the actual size of the site itself. Yeah. So you will see that, oh wait, maybe the size that you suggest of the component is able to fit or not. Yeah. Just a transitions. So this is a conceptual part. You will do it manually, freehands. Okay. When you have a firm, then you will put it in your conceptual plan. This is just an example. I will show you 3 examples after my lecture, yeah, on my student projects. So I have quotes importance. For me, it is quite a good phrase. I think I need to share with you. A brilliant plans that give a evidence of response to all factors, a clear perception of need and relation, and a sensitive expression of component working well together. Okay, this is a very good phrase here when you look at this, which means that the author says when we do a design, we have to put all the factors that we think is important on the design plan, which means, okay, just now when I mentioned that they have 10 lists, yeah, the criteria when you look at on landscape architecture design process, or maybe in architecture same as well. When you have the list, you know that what are the things that you need to put on the plan, correct? Okay, when you start to put on the plan, yeah, and then it's not just putting, yeah, every single that item that you put on the plan itself, when you plan on the diagram, it must be have the relation. Let's say when you put a parking next to the main entrance, that does this reasonable? Yeah, think about that. Yeah, so the relation should be there. The space making, you need to start to think about that. Okay, and sensitivity also to when you put everything on the space relations. So make sure all these factors they work together. Which means when you have all these diagram, it should speak each others. Yeah, if your design you found that when you start to do a planning, the flow of the idea is not connected, which means that something went wrong. Yeah, so yeah, so I think that's why I need to put this as a important phrase to do in a conceptual plan. All right, am I too fast or also okay for you all to grasp what I'm explaining? Ibu Ruli, is it okay?
I think it's okay. How about Butiwi? Is it too
Yeah.
fast?
Is it too fast?
Little,
If then I will slow down. Mm-mm.
a little bit slow. Is it okay, Butiwi?
Is it
Yeah,
okay,
it's
Ibu?
fine. A little bit slow,
Yeah, it's
please.
fine for us. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
So I have to speak little bit slow.
yeah.
Oh, okay,
Thanks.
okay. Thank you, Pak Bamang. Yes, okay. If you have question, maybe you can ask me directly so I can explain more. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Okay. When to generate the concept and design rationales? Yes. My own experience when I study in landscape architectures, I found that okay, my senior lecturer, they taught me the way of doing a design concept or site inventory analysis. But when I exposed my masters in urban design, I have another exposure to look at how to do a concept and site inventory analysis. So basically, this site is what I have learned from the combinations of landscape architecture and also urban design. So when you look at the stages, as I said just now, the concept will be after your site inventory. And then today I will share with you the design rationale. Maybe not everyone's aware of this is important when you put on the plan. And the final part is the product, yeah, on your master plan. Okay, so next, when we talk about concept, yeah, as I said just now, doing a concept, design a concept can be a very subjective, very broad. Some students found that, okay, I don't have idea when I do a concept. How could I get an idea? I will ask student, if normally I will ask student two questions. Did you really understand your site? Yes, this is first question. Second, I will ask them, how many reference that you have for your projects? If you can answer these two, which means you are ready to do your concept. If you don't have these two, which means you are not ready, okay? Uh, if let's say you are not doing well in your site inventory analysis, you have to step back and look at what are missing when I do a site inventory. Because I found that some students, when they have a very quick to do a site inventory analysis, they do not come out with identify site issues. They don't have idea what actually the site is lacking potential or constraint. They don't know. They are not clear. This is one of the dilemma when students found it. Another cases, as I said just now, is the students' preparations. Once they have their site inventory analysis, they found the issues, but their lack of studies, which means like because students doing a design, we need experience. For me myself, if because I have seized a lot of projects, so when I create student, I have ideas, yeah, accumulations. So for you, maybe you are new, so you need to get some idea. So where to get the idea is through reading. Yeah, I'm not asking you to read like a books, but at least you have some idea to get it from a successful project. So that's why I will ask student, you have to prepare is go to get some precedent study, get some successful, have a look how they do the project. So once you're ready with your site inventory, with clear results, and you have your study for as a reference, then you will make yourself ready and prepare for conceptual idea. Okay, so if you ask me again, how to create a concept, basically I will put it in the 3 categories which I shown on this slide here. Okay, metaphor idea is common for architecture. Yeah, you use a lot of metaphor. Landscape also same, but as not, I don't think as much as like architectures. Philosophy and analogy, yes, we use a lot, and also problem solving. Okay, when you look at here at the right side of the slide, you'll find that why I do a combination, yeah? Okay, I will explain this. Okay, look at the metaphor here. Metaphor idea, later I will explain, yeah, next slide. I try to show you that when concept, we can do a combinations. We don't show to our lecturers that a concept, okay, I just want to do a metaphor. I don't care other things. No, I think you have to think, how to say, you have to think deeper, yeah? When you have the idea to do a metaphor, you have to pick one something to match with problem solving, because I believe all projects we are talking about problem solving. So why not you combine like metaphor with philosophy idea, metaphor with problem solving, and come to the philosophy also the same. Please try to match like philosophy idea with problem solving. All right, so this is how I put in first the category of concept, doing concept. All right, the next slide I will elaborate more what is metaphor, philosophy, and problem solving. Yeah, okay. Okay, metaphor idea. As I said just now, very familiar for all of you as architecture students. Metaphor is physically, you can see how the translation, let's say like you can see the images here, a leaf, the lines, how they translate through the idea of the product. So metaphor are measured as a powerful problem solving for the dealing with design tasks. So when we talk about this, you will find that metaphor idea is not just a physical translation idea, yeah. It's also help you to solve a problem when you do a design. So okay, let's look at the right side of this diagram. Yeah, I took it from one journal. Is the journal is related to a student's study on the studio. Yeah, you can see that the student have their own concept like eternity, rhythm, piece. How they translate from the art piece physically, yeah, the transformation to the plan. Yes, this is more on direct. Yeah, just one example for you. Okay, I will move to next on philosophy and analogy. Yeah, I think this is much favored by student as well when we talk about translation of philosophy and analogy. Because when you write a concept, we don't make it dull. Like by metaphor, maybe you say, okay, I want to do a design like a leaf. That is very straightforward. You will translate everything. You will see the vein of the leaf, the size, the colors. You translate on the plan. But come to the physical and analogy. Maybe you have increase some of your philosophy idea and analogy, how to put in to develop more in depth. Okay, how to start with a concept of philosophy and analogy? Normally, you need to have an inspiration. Let's say you have an inspiration from a famous architect, let's say like a Flandre, right? Or maybe there's a landscape architecture. Who is your inspirations? So maybe you can follow his philosophy or her philosophy to translate in your design. Okay, this illustration to show you that to start with the philosophy or analogy idea, you need to have a literature review or inspiration, which is you are referring to some concept or some philosophy idea. Okay, and secondly, once you understand the idea of the philosophy, you will put it on the translation. So the idea will start to evolve the changes. Yeah. So the process you will slowly to transfer, yeah, and then put on the idea. So the transformation of concept you will relate to space and form. This is how we do it in the landscape. I think same as architecture as well. Yeah, indirectly they are very clearly that shows the trees process. The same as the bottom here, by referring on the one of the inspiration of artists and how the abstraction of the art translate on their plan. Yeah. So this is basically how the philosophy and analogy idea. I think student will favor to do this concept. Yeah, normally. All right. Okay. So I will okay. After I share on the design rationale, I will talk more about all the problem solving, because I believe all the projects are related to concept of problem solving. Yeah. So let me talk about just now. If I show you the this diagram, where should you put your design rationale, right? Normally student will do this, the conceptual development, and they will straight jump to the final. Yeah, this part missing. If you have done the design rationale, so normally you will prove that this project can be implemented, because why? You evidence it, yeah? You prove it, the idea can be applied on your plan, or yeah. Okay. This is what I have learned just now, as I say. I get inspired when I go through the studio of landscape architecture and urban design. I found it that design rationale is very important. Uh, okay, let's go through the process again. When you start with your inventory, you have to decide your site. What are the potential? What are the constraints? What are the limit? What are the potential? All right. Then you start to think about the suggestion. If your site is lacking, you will suggest something. If your site is potential, you will look at the potential to make it more strengthened on your project. Okay, so you write a lot of recommendation in your synthesis plan, where you will show like a layerings here. Okay, concept. When you come to the concept part, design experience, approach, and perception is very important. As I say in the early of my talk just now, you need to have an experience to reading, and you have to find an approach, and you have to need to be strengthen your own perception when doing a design. This is how when you write your concept, you put in your design rationale. How to show it later, I will show you. All is in map, no need to write a lot, because you are the architecture student. Yeah, everything we show on the maps or design, no need too much writing. And one suggestion for me, especially for final year student, when you do your concept, besides showing a rationale, please put as well also the strategy plan. Especially you are choosing all the title or the topic which are very technical, like a low carbon, green building, stormwater. Please put in this strategy plan. It will help you later, because you'll see how you manage your project idea. Yeah, we don't make it when our design idea just stop. Okay, I done on my master plan. No, that is not sustainable. You are talking sustainable and resilient. Show a strategy of plan. So the evaluator or examiner will see how good you are in planning all this. Yeah. Okay. Come to the final part. On your master plan, is the time for you to do a decision making. Yes. So you create an essence of a master plan, and also please put in your design recommendation. If you have design recommendation and implement strategy, I think your lecturers or your docent will give you bonus mark. It's your outcome. If you're from your thesis, when you read your design recommendation is your main finding of your overall projects. So in design, it's okay for you to shows your recommendation. It is a bonus for you to see whether your design implementation can be worked or not. All right. This is the summary of what I have experienced too when you do a design process, especially on the concept part and the rationale. Okay. All right. This is my one of my master project. We will do it in a group work. I will share with you what is a design rationale. Yeah. So basically, when you do, okay, this is project is related on problem solving. Just now I have explained on the metaphor concept, on the philosophy and analogy, and this is related on the problem solving. Yeah. So I believe all the projects you are deal with the problem, you have the issues. It's important to guide you which direction you need to go. So this is one of my project, is master projects in Malacca. I think I believe both of you know where it's Malacca, one of the heritage site, UNESCO site. So we have identified here the several issues, yeah, and we put a synthesis, we put an analysis map where is the issue happen. But this site is not exactly at the core of the Malacca, but we are focused on the Kampong Jawa, which is one of the buffer area of Malacca. Okay, I'm not going to give a detail on this, but I just want to show you the process only. Yeah, everything show on the maps. Yeah, because we are architecture student. Yeah. No need too much writing because this is master project, so that's why I have to write a lot. Okay, all right. So when come to the okay, I start with this first, the design rationales. Okay, what is design rationales? If I solve with the problem of proposed accessibility and legibility, I need to show the plan how I'm going to implement it. Did I need to connect with a green space or improve the accessibility? So normally student would put everything all in one master plan, correct or not? But something good about design rationale, you will put it one layer by one layers. Let's say I focus first on the design rationale on accessibility and legibility. So I will look at the linkages first. All right. Secondly, maybe I will look at the connection like bridge. And then with the wider scope, maybe I will look at on pedestrian networks uh, and some important activity nodes. So all of these are the rationale of your design. You evidence it. You, yeah. This is something that student lacking when they do on the design process. Yeah. Because normally you will do everything just on one piece of your master plan. You did not show the process. That's why if my student doing this, I will give he or she a bonus point because he showed that the translation. Okay, this is one of the design rational one. Okay, uh, this is also more or less the same, but it's more on showing that how the space connection when we talk about legibility and accessibility of the design. So when we talk about accessibility, not only focus on pedestrian itself, but the transport connection is also very important, yeah, in urban design. All right. The second one, maybe the idea is we talk about how to propose open space. Yeah. When come to your design, everything you find it, you already show a beautiful plan. But during the process, again, you show that any spaces is potential to turn into the green area. So is important here. Without these photos, you can see here the translation on the plan. Yeah. So you see that, oh yeah, the green connector is there, and how the spaces, the small spaces, pocket spaces, the corridor is connected by all the green corridors. All right. Not forget also, when you do not just focus on plan, you can produce sections or other small thumbnail plan. Yeah. Okay. All right. So basically, this is a design rationale. Once you have your rational plan, you integrate with your conceptual development. So for this, I have a combinations on problem solving and also philosophy. So my idea to this side, because this is a heritage buffer zone, so the main issues is like the activities become slow down compared to the core zone of Malacca. So I put in the concept here is the theater of life, enhance the genus loci of Kampong Jawa. It's some sort of combination of problem solving idea and also a philosophy. So I make it, when I write in the concept, uh, all of the site activities that we found at the site, like the local people who have very good practice in the tinware, doing some of handicraft. We put it that they are the props to the our design. Yeah. So we need to have some sort like the philosophy when we write a concept. Okay. This is what I describe here. So the props here is like a river, building, scenics. Yeah. So the theater is something like this. The community, they contribute to the environment, yeah, to the surrounding, like their commercial activities, their living. Yeah. That is why I call it, the concept is the theater of life. All right. So you can see that how the philosophy idea and how the problem solving, they combine it to form a design concept. It looks simple or sometimes gets slightly complicated, but once you have that, this, as I shown, the flow of doing the design rationale, I think you can grasp, yeah, after this. All right. Okay, I will end my presentation here. Tips for everyone's. When you want to do a good design, actually doing design is fun. Don't think as too complex. Yes, sometimes I know that when you have this, you get it one, you have it one topic, you find that, oh, you don't know where to start and what to start. Never mind, just follow step by step. As I already show you in a diagram, I summarize this my own experience how to do or develop a concept, but make sure you yourself need to be more analytical when you do a site analysis, yeah, and you're able to accept a design critics, which means that when you see your docents, yeah, or you talk with your peers, try to accept what's the comment from others. Yeah, sometimes you won't see that your idea, or sometimes your idea will limit to certain only. So try to accept people idea and think insightful. Means like sometimes you have to think out of the box. Yeah, how to think out of the box. So accumulate your experience of looking at design. And the last, you have to be consistency at work. Yeah, as a final year students, you work individually, right? So it's good that you have your own good discipline. So make sure all your work, you do it consistent. Yeah, you don't push work at last minute, but you have to plan your work stage by stage. Okay, I adopt a quote from Ram. He said that a good design is making something intelligent and memorable. A great design is making something memorable and meaningful. Yes. If you produce a good design, you will remember what you are doing. If you just simply do that, you just finish a work on your master plan or your design idea, I don't think that process will bring you memorable. Yeah. So this is what I'm going to share for today. Next, I will show you three of the example of my student work who show a very good in rationale of design. Yeah. So I will stop my slide on this. Thank you, everyone. Okay, wait. I need to open the one of the project. Yeah. So I will stop sharing. Okay, Dr. Rudy, can you all see this? Can you see? Yeah. Okay. I think this is one of very clear students who do a study. It's an urban site in Kuala Lumpur. A design for a walkable city at Jalan Tunku Abdul Rahman Street. So her main issues is on walkability, and her idea when she developed a concept, she looked at important issues here on connectivity, identity, and destination and vibrancy. Yeah. So the idea here when she developed a concept is more on they have also the problem solving mixed with the analogy. Yeah. Okay. So normally I will ask students to put a simple side issues and also design strategy on the boards. Okay. The main point, let me show you first. Okay, this is the design concept that I think is good for you all to learn. Yeah. Not all the students were going to do this, but she's good. She understand my the design process. When you start to think about your concept, your project on walkability, think about the green connector. Show where the space of the and the street linkages. Yeah. And in her objective, she talked about the nodes, landmark, and robustness. Yeah. So the activities that the suggestion activity that put on the idea, the plan, and also the walking routes that plans. Yeah. So this is basically that the design rationale that you have to put in your concept before you produce a master plan. Yeah. Okay. This is the master plan, her final product. So what I want to highlight here is normally student will only do this board, the concept board, this one, and some of the concept idea without produce this rational plan. So this one is, I call it rational plan, is how you apply on your design concept. Okay, I will show another projects. Yeah, basically the student have to produce an illustration. Yeah. So when you do an illustration, you can do the blow up streets more on the macro scale, yeah, rather than micro. Yeah, because street is small, you cannot see, so just blow up some parts of important to show the connectivity. So to ensure that the visualization of your presentation is good. Yeah. Okay. Next, I will show another project. Okay. I think Dr. Ruri know this Awani, one of my Thai students.
Yeah, Awani who joins the
Yes.
then on the UTM, yeah?
Yes. She's graduated I think 2 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. She continued the project, Dr. Ruri, from this Kedai Lima in Thailand, the site.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. One thing good about this about project I'm going to share is she's using an approach of creative cities or creative activities into historical town studies. Yeah. how to strengthen the identity of the place through creative activities. So creative activity is not a new subject here. When you look at in UNESCO website, you will find that nowadays many cities already begin the creativity approach in the urban design and also some of the historical sites. Yeah. So this is her site inventory analysis, and she did also a reference study that I say when you want to get an experience on your project, you need to have an example of a case for you to start. Okay. So this is her inventory analysis. For me, it's very in-depth because she tried to do on cultural mapping. Yeah, of course, every project you have to start with your background of the site. Yeah, on the building studies, on the morphologies. Yeah, and of course, there is the value of the architectures, the green spaces. And she highlighted also the poor imaginability and identity of the place. So I can emphasize here, when you want to do the study on identity, you need to pick that what identity is diminishing to a certain place. Does the physical does the physical properties of a place that affect on the identity or the intangible part? So for her, she mentioned on the physical, yeah. So basically, this community here are the partly of they have Chinese and Thais communities, yeah. So their practice is more on the Chinese culture, though they are Thai, yeah. So this is the inventory on the activity and the spaces. Is very important in the urban studies and also for the landscape design process. So how she's put in the type of daily activities, the community activities, the religious activities. Yeah, she adopted as what I say, the cultural mapping. Okay. All right. The SWOT analysis. Once you have done all the inventory and analysis, you can complete. You can conduct the SWOT analysis to conclude what actually that the main site potential or constraints or the strength of the site, yeah, of this kedai Cina, yeah, they call it in Thai also they call it kedai Cina. Okay, here I want to show you when she shows her concept is the riches of soul. Also, when you look at this concept, it's very philosophy. She tried to put it the problems of the issues, yeah, and also the design rationale that she's going to emphasize. For her, you can see that this is a urban heritage project. So she adopt approach how to rejuvenate the identity of the place. So this is her design rationale. She tried to emphasize, restore, relink, and preserve the historical value in this site, in Kedai Lima. Yeah. This is the bonus part that I say most of the student is missing on this. Yeah. So you can put it in your concept. Okay, so for landscape architecture, it's not missing, like we have to put our planting idea as well. Yeah. So I believe for architecture as well, if you do something related to green architecture, yes, please put your idea on the planting concept. It will help you, yeah. Okay, so this is her final product on her plan, her master plan with some illustrations. Okay. So for the finance student, in UTM, normally we will set the requirement. Student need to have at least 4 perspective of illustrations and minimum like tool for cut sectional diagram, a meaningful one. Yeah, it's not just simply, but you have to show a good design. Yeah. From the master plan for landscape architecture students, we have to do a micro scale of the design, which we call it as a detail area. It's a blow up. Yeah. So for the detail areas, for this student, she developed her concept again. So for detail area, she want to focus more on the feng shui. Yeah, because as I said, this the site, her site is more like the community is more on the Chinese Thai, so she adopt the idea of feng shui. So her concept is more philosophy, and the understanding of feng shui she elaborate here. So where she got inspired is from the community, as I said just now. Yeah, inspired of the idea and do a reading, then she can develop the concept. Mm. So basically in the detail area, the scale of the plan is more macro scale. So you will see everything clear. Yeah, the pathway, the plants, and also some of the hardscape element and amenities. And end up with the illustrations. Yeah. So for me, this is one of the good example of doing urban heritage project, because I can see her understanding is not just the final product, but I much appreciate when she can come out with the process. Yeah, so I can see that Awani is really understand her side very well, and the way she adopted a concept is fit to the problem solving. Yeah, for me. Yeah. Okay, so this is one of the example. I will share another last example. The more bigger scale. Yeah. Mm. Okay, so this student, she just graduated. She just graduated a few months ago, and her projects is on Pulau Jerajaks. There is a natural area because it's an island, yeah, in Penang Island, yeah. Okay. All right. Her study is more on the how to look at this abandoned island. We have history, and the clients is going to develop the historical and natural resources, partly to commercial. So partly of her projects, beside recreational, she also provide resorts for her clients. Yeah. So this student, she have very good in doing conceptual as well. Yeah. Okay. When but she not calling this as rational, but she did a very good rational plan when she developed all these idea, how she put on, yeah, the important aspects. Can you see on the right here? This is her own initiative when she tried to put the spaces to fit in the whole island, the planning. But when we look at the islands of this design, 362 hectares is not all, but it's her design only one part, like 13 hectares, sorry. So because of this is an island, the conservation of natural part is also very important. By preserving the history of the island itself, she also introduced how to protect the natural biodiversity of this island. Yeah. Okay, sorry, I think I should show you the inventory first. That one is a product. Okay. This is her inventory. Her analysis and synthesis, visual studies is important because in the landscape, visuals is much more related to aesthetic value, yeah. Vegetations and each site she also do a blow up like the existing heritage, some of the historical building that need to be preserved or not. Okay, this is what I would like to share with all of you. The way she show the idea in a functional diagram, a Baba diagram, and how she put on the site itself to fit on the site. So she come up with the circulation plan and also the synthesis idea. Yeah. So her recommendation she putting at the right for the inventory. And last with the SWOT analysis. Yeah. So I would like to remind all the students, it's good that when every time you finish your synthesis plan, please do a SWOT analysis, because the SWOT analysis is the summaries of all your inventory analysis. Yeah. So this is her master plan just now I have shown. So she divided into the 4 parts in her master plan. They have a memorial park, a rainforest park, a ribbon eco walk, bird park, natural gardens, all this. Yeah. So it's one of the good mixture when she did a study on historical combination with a natural. I would like to show you her detail area as well. Okay, this is her detail area site. Her focus is more on memories forest. So she blow up her site area in detail. Okay, it is your own initiative. When you do your design, besides you elaborate on the concept part, yeah. Normally you will write your design aims, concept, yeah, or the schematic plan. As I said just now, put something that can help you like a bonus. You have a strategy. How do you implement like on the canal design, the platform and trails? Yeah, the strategy, how do you design put in your design strategy? Yes. So this is basically the detail area design. Yeah, just focus on one zone only. With the detail plans. Yeah, I think that's all from me. Yeah, Dr. Ruli.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lee. It's a really great and impressive product, yeah, from the final year program of architecture landscape. And yeah, also for the student, for your informations, in UTM, the Department of Architecture Landscape was funded in what year, Dr. Lee?
1993.
Oh, nine.
1993, yes.
It's already quite long time. It's already almost 2 decades, yeah. And then
Yes.
they will think more the urban designs concept also. Landscape urban design is part of the competence. And
Yes.
as an architecture students, we also learn of these subjects in the subjects of the arsitektur perencanaan perkotaan.
Oh.
On 1 and 2, we have 2 sessions in each semesters, and we will do kind of this program with a group, Dr. Lee. So it's not as an individual program, but then when coming to the final years, the scriptsy, they can also choose for the more large scale, but not commons or not much students can take kind of these things. Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's go to the question and answer questions.
Okay.
It's coming from the to our seniors lectures. We have Pak Bambang here. Pak Bambang asking about what are the difference or similarities between landscape and garden, because in bahasa Indonesia those two words sometimes has the same meaning, and how I think you dealing with this landscape design and garden designs. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
So
We
I answer now. Yeah.
yeah. I
Okay.
think one by one is okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Ruli. So this is question from Pak Bambang. Yeah. Okay. The differentiate of landscape design and garden. Garden is one of, okay, when we talk about landscape is very broad. Landscape is resembles of place, yeah, the setting of outdoor setting, yeah. So garden is one part of the component of landscape design. So garden design is a small scale. When you talk about landscape project in urban area, the size or the scale is bigger. Mm. So my answer is the differentiate of the complexity and the scale of the site. So garden, like home garden is small, but when we talk about landscape design or urban design, the scale is bigger. Yeah. You uh can you understand Pak Bambang?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, welcome.
And yeah, well, I think as an architect, we can also dealing with the landscape more big
Yes. Big
part.
scale, yes. Mm.
We also should think the small one because it's inside of a building or gonna be in the inner building.
Yes.
Need
Mm.
to have
The problem is in bahasa Indonesia sometimes it's same
Oh, okay.
in bahasa Indonesia. Yeah.
What do you call in
Landscape,
bahasa
uh,
landscape
landscape
also? Ah.
is taman, garden is also
Oh.
taman.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. For us,
Yeah.
bahasa Malaysia, landscape, taman we know is small scale. Garden is
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome.
thank you. And then another, we're coming to our senior lectures, Ibu Nunu Hardiati. Selamat sore. How are you, Ibu? She asking here.
Baik, caranya baik.
It's okay, Bu. We can have a bilingual lectures here ya. Bagaimana gagasan konsep landscape untuk desain fasilitas dengan permasalahan lahan yang sempit, yang terbatas, contohnya di permukiman padat perkotaan. Should I translate in English?
Yes. Yeah. Please,
Okay.
Dr. Ruli.
Okay. How is your opinion about the concept of landscape that the landscape will be on the compact city in the really near city center, because it's sure we have to dealing with the limited space, compactness, and then more the things is not really in the regular one, or is more diverse. What do you think with this landscape designs dealing?
Okay. Okay. So your question is like, what is the landscape solution for the limited space? Yeah, especially in the urban area,
Yeah,
or maybe in the what else? You're talking about all urban, right? Urban context, right?
in
The
kampung,
in kampong
compact
as well, the limited space.
urban
Okay.
kampung, yeah, not kampung in
Oh,
Malaysia.
okay.
Kampung is in the
Is
rural area, right?
rural, yeah?
Yeah,
Village, yeah?
urban kampung here.
Okay, so you means the urban village in Indonesia is a village, kampung je?
Yeah, kampung, urban kampung.
Urban kampung, yeah, urban village. Okay. All
Kampung
right.
botak, kampung botak.
In
For
Indonesia,
in Indonesia.
kampung kota.
Okay. May I know that how's population in this kampung? Is it very high populations and dense?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think the issues that face in this kampung, the village, urban village, is some sort like the limited of space, yeah. Because you look at in the settlement planning, each houses should have their own boundary, correct or not? If we talk it legally, yeah, should be have their own home and the boundary. if let's say you are talking about the issue here, limited of space, when come to the study, first of all, you need to know that in this kampong, the land use itself and also the boundary itself. I think first of all, you need to find out this first. Yeah, I believe that in kampong the setting is different in urban. Yeah, it's more freely. So, I believe that in the setting of village, uh, they don't have a specific on the like, okay, I need to fence up my house boundary and the compound. So the kampong setting, the people, local people, I believe, yeah, they have their boundary, but they are not physically fencing. Yeah, they know their limitation. If so, the limiter of space, here I would like to suggest that you look at either the share area in between the houses, is there any third of spaces they can share as a common space? Or in the kampong itself, when you do a study, can you find out like more like which area is the common area we call it, but can become a gathering area? So for me, these are the potential area to develop for landscape design purpose. Yeah, because it's limited of spaces. So my idea is you should look at the share space in between these the household. Although they don't, though they know their boundary, but they should have the common one to share with more communities. And another one is sharing by neighborhoods. Yeah, the close one. Yeah, I think that is a good, so not say good, but at least is one of the solution for this kind of village settlement. If you need to talk it more legally, actually, we do not, when we do a design, we do not want to touch very sensitive issues, since the villagers, the occupants, they already stay there a long time ago. Yeah, they already become the villagers. If you start to do on a very legal, to look at, okay, this house suppose is not on this boundary, but they have extended, they will create the issues. So when students do all this design, we try to do not create this, because we cannot do much with dealing with this some sort like a little bit on political issues. Yeah. Uh, so
It's
Ibu,
interesting. Nur,
yeah,
Ibu
Ibu,
Nur,
is it I answer your questions,
is it
or
okay?
not?
Ibu Nur, is it okay? Is it clear?
Oke, oke,
Apakah
oke.
ini jelas?
Ya, ya.
Ya,
Mungkin ada apa
Mm-mm.
konsep-konsep yang misalkan kayak vertikal, cara menanam dengan satu vertikal kayak gitu.
vertical
Itu ada nggak?
garden.
Iya, ya kayak ya mungkin nggak garden ya kalau kalau lanskap itu sudah skalanya kan jauh lebih besar gitu ya, tidak hanya itu ya. Jadi itunya mungkin sudah kayak urban farming, vertical farming
Yes.
dan sebagainya gitu kan barangkali itu ya mestinya sudah ada satu konsep-konsep itu gitu ya harus.
I think what you mentioned is a good idea. In Indonesia, you call it kebun, right? Urban farming.
Urban farming.
I think urban farming is one of the good idea to start to develop on the green space. Yeah, because we cannot expect that urban landscape idea to put it in the village. Village, we have their own community. You have their own skill and limited of space. Begin of sharing of community garden through urban farming is good. Or maybe some of the village, they have their allotment. As I say, maybe they stay near to the river. The reserve of the river can develop as partly of the edible garden, or maybe urban farming gardens. Yes. Yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah, and also I agree with the concept of the sharing space,
Share
not
space.
only for the architectural space, but also outside of the space. For the exterior, we should also thinking about sharing space and coming with the idea of sharing kebun bersama,
Yeah.
sharing vertical garden, something like that. Yeah, it's a great question, Ibu Nunu. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah, thank you, Ibu Nuno. Thank you for the questions.
Yeah, thank you very much. And then we are coming back again with the question answer from Prasetyo Wahyu. Which one more important to deciding concept, local issue or potential? Cause for some case, local issue and potential was opposing each others. For example, Muslim town that near night time place making part.
Okay.
Or is a Prasetyo here? Maybe you can you can ask to Dr. Lee more clearly. Prasetyo, are you there? Or maybe you can answer, Dr. Lee.
Okay. All right. For these questions, you're asking about how to decide concept, issues, and potential, right? Okay. First of all, when you decide this to take this area as your project, you have to ask yourself, what is the main idea of your project? If your project is concentrate on the, like, let's say on Muslim town itself, so you need to put a priority on Muslim town. So the rest, of course, will create the issue to your side, but that is not the main actor of your side. Okay. So normally when you do your site inventory analysis, yes, it's important to start with the site issues. As I say again, if you have conflict or dilemma, when you look at, okay, what is your main project? If you decide your project is study on Muslim town, so let's focus on the Muslim town first. So the rest, like you have like maybe the other maybe illegal or unillegals placemaking or maybe other issues, you need to put it as a secondary for me. Yeah, always start with issues, main idea, that reflect to your main project. So I believe because all of you have your own title of project, so make it focus on your project first. Yeah, and then next you will decide what is potential and constraint, and follow by develop your concept. Just follow by steps. Yeah, make it clear first what is the issue that you want to focus. And I know some of the site you have many issues, but don't take everything. If you want to settle all, you are not focus your project. You will come to back your project again. As I said, if you focus on just a Muslim town, try to take a focus the issues that related to your project. That's all. From the issues, then to decide what are the potential and constraint, do your SWOT analysis, and then the next is develop your concept. Just make it a good sequence. Yeah. Is it okay? Am I answer?
Is it okay, Prasetyo? Are you there? Okay, thanks for the answer, Dr. Lee. So, okay, have a
Okay.
please to coming with the nightlife di sana ya.
Yeah.
Next, we are going to the another questions coming from Anissa Heryuntia. Anissa asking Dr. Lee about what do you think about bringing another culture to the community concept instead of community culture itself? So, meaning that having a new function.
Understand the new culture. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for these questions. I think, yeah, this is also looking at your project. Yeah. If you are doing your project on urban conservations, so you need to put that not to bring the culture, new culture in your project. It's depend on the project as well. Yeah. If you are looking that your project is not much on related to identity or is totally in new urban area, then you can bring in new culture. Because why? Again, as I say in my slide, the 10 tips that you have to look at when you do a design, you need to think about who is your users. You ask yourself first, when you do this project, who are going to use this? Who, yeah, your users. If the community they are old community and they settle a place a long time ago, I think you should focus to remain their culture. Of course, you can bring some new, but not opposition to their current culture. You can help them to strengthen. Like just now, I'm showing that my student, she did is like she's not doing like totally new to omit the old culture, but she emphasizes it. She try to strengthen it by bringing creative activities. Yeah, you can mix it. Yeah, if your site is totally new area in urban area, then no problem to bring a new culture to your community. Yeah, that is my suggestion. Mm. Is it okay, Anissa?
Okay, Dr. Lee, thank you for the answer.
Yeah, you're welcome, Anissa.
Yeah, it's common to the student have the case for the new urban area.
Oh, new.
So new urban. So, but
Mm,
also sometimes they will choose the heritage area also. So
mm,
kind of mix themes
mm.
in one studio. So yeah, that's
Mm.
why they coming with this question, Dr. Lee.
I see. But do you think I answer Anissa or not?
I
Did
think yeah,
yes, okay.
I'm agree with you.
Because
So
user is very important. You need to know who you design for who.
the
Who is
client
the user? Yes, the client and the users. Mm.
should
If you
understand.
if you design just because you want to bring something new, but if your user do not accept or like it, I think your project is not successful because the users is important to support. Mm. What are you going to plan? Mm,
Okay, maybe how's in UTM for the students choose their case study? Are they
mm,
will choose as I mean imaginations or just pretending that the client
oh,
is gonna be
okay.
act like this, or really
Mm,
site inventory on the real actions
mm.
site project?
Okay. Just now actually I share about that. The student are doing live project, which means
Like,
they have real client and they have to go to the interview at the municipal council and also with the community. Let's say if your project is urban, then the student target is on the urban users. And the student, if his project in rural area or village, then the local communities, the villages are their users. Yeah, all is the real client.
and then how about the obstacle? I mean, during this pandemic COVID,
Oh,
this
okay.
this era, how your students deal this, and then how the lectures also prevent I mean making a preventions for the students. Are there any obligations or the some rule?
Mm. Okay, supposedly student have to do the same like what previously they have done with the real client. So now the student, like I have a student, I give him a suggestions. Uh, okay, maybe for municipal council is still okay. You can write an email maybe to through a contact of calling, yeah, to get some client brief, yeah, for the municipal council or government officer. But how you want to deal with the community? So I suggest to him, why not if the community you try to get in them, let's say in a Facebook group, so you can ask them to join. This is one of the idea, but for me maybe is not sure whether success or not, but have to try. Because one of my student, he did try success because when he asked that community, some of them they join, so they can do a Q&A through this Facebook platform. But as Dr. Rudy said, yes, there is a constraint now, right, in the COVID pandemic right now, because students are limit to access, right? You are very hard like to going to the site, to the place itself to do an interview. But at least you try this through this method, yeah. Mm-mm.
I
But
agree with you.
but I'm not
Whatever
sure how
your
effective
time,
because yeah, but I'm not sure how effective is it. But still trying, try and error right now. Mm-mm.
I agree with you. So yeah, the student you must be gambate.
Yeah.
Fighting. Okay, another question, Dr. Lee from Dewi Widowati. Good afternoon, Dr. Lee.
Yes,
Can
afternoon.
this concept be applied to other architectural design process? I mean, because sometimes we come across site with less completeness and information because we focus on the local issue. For example, when we designing a new tourism area where the site use is far from the central area and only in the form of open air, can the design process be implemented, and what can we do if we encounter problems like this one? Or maybe Dewi, are you still there? Maybe you can explain a bit more about your question.
Yeah, it's a very lengthy question. Yeah. I want to know that what do you mean only in the form of open air? So your site, you uh are you here with us, Devi?
Dewi Widowati, are you still there, Dewi? Adik bisa menanyakan langsung ke Dr. Lee. Adik? Okay.
Okay.
Maybe
Uh,
I can a bit explain
Dr.
Dewi.
Ruli, I just need to know what does she means here, the open air, only in the
Maybe
form of open air, yes.
they will do the design in the some area that's fast and then it's open.
You mean the open space?
Yes, open space.
Okay. All right. Is it her question is
Oh,
she?
site berada jauh dari kota, seperti di area alam. So yeah, the site is very far away. So it's in the rural area, and then it's inside of the natures. It's a natures.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I want to ask you whether what the reason that you choose this site to fit with your project as a tourism. Are you going to look at nature ecotourism? Ecotourism, yeah. Because when you want to talk about the context, I think first of all you need to know that what type of tourism that you need to focus. If your area is in with the natural resources, then I would like to recommend you to focus on the ecotourism. It's not the matter of far away because we believe that all the tourism area actually is not only concentrate near to the urban area. Some of the tourism spot area is far away, especially the natural area, right? Correct or not, Ibu Rudi? Sorry, Dr. Rudi?
Yeah, I think yeah. Or Dewi, apakah masih di sana bisa berkomunikasi langsung? Saya pikir akan
Ya.
lebih asik ya.
Yeah.
Silakan silakan. Bahasa Indonesia juga nggak apa-apa, Dek.
Ya, jadi kalau misal kita fokus ke permasalahan yang ada di suatu kota, terus kita milihnya site itu di tempat yang jauh dari kota. Tadi kan memang untuk konsepnya proses desainnya ini kan untuk yang di daerah urban. Nah, kalau yang untuk di daerah yang jauh dari kota itu gimana?
Okay. Devi, if you remember just now, I show you the third project is on island. Actually, is far away from the urban area. Now I understand your question. Maybe you are concerned about like when you want to do this kind of design, right? You were concerned about the accessibility, everything, right? For me, no problem to doing this kind of projects because you know your main issues you are dealing is you are looking on potential. Maybe it's not a issues. Sometimes when you do a project, you don't make it everything only the issue is the main thing for you to start. Try to turn it to a potential point. So I believe that maybe your site is more potential to look at. It is not to start with the issue first. Yeah. If no, you will find it difficult if you everything you start with issues. Yeah. Dr. Ruby, can you explain to Devi?
Dewi, is it okay for you? Is it already clear for you that for the approaching of designs, pendekatan desain itu bisa beragam, tidak hanya berasal dari isu tapi juga potensial. Jadi mana satu yang menjadi yang lebih utama, silahkan ini yang lebih di generate atau lebih di analyze gitu ya. Jadi saya pikir kalau di dalam proses yang dilakukan oleh Dr. Lee, konsep ini akan selalu sama, akan dipakai baik di rural maupun di urban area. Yang terpenting, for me, from this Dr. Lee lectures, the important thing is the design thinking process. Think and generate. That's why our lecture is about the
think and generate. Yes, thank you.
Concept. So if we don't have any good data, so the data cannot speak up a lot, cannot speak up more. Then if the data cannot speak up more, what will you do? What will gonna be more?
Yes, so you cannot move to next. That's why sometimes we make it too flexible, compatible. Don't put everything with problematic first. Sometimes the site will speak to you. They have more potential rather than problem. So yeah, take it another way to look at. Yeah.
It's interesting, Dr. Lee. I mean, you said that something. What the last sentence you think? Don't think.
Okay. For me, all right. I always talk to the student. If we are the one who do the project, sometimes we are not familiar with the project, so we don't judge it too earlier that this site have problem first, because we do not know the site. We look it from our own perspective. When you start to do your inventory, you'll find out maybe they have more potential compared to the constraint or the problems. If we straight away judge, we have the project and we give a first judge, so we have some sort like bias, right? So why not you look it in, make it you yourself, how to say, judge it, do your inventory first, and then from your own perspective, don't see something negative at the beginning. See it from potential. That's why you look at SWOT, SWOT analysis, right? They start with a strength. Yeah, they are not start with problem, right? So they want to look at the strength of the site first. Yeah, although you have threats or weakness of the site, never mind. Later you will overcome with your idea. Yeah.
I think this is a good point, yeah, students. So yeah, please note these words. Let's have the strengths point, and
strengths.
Always have a positive feelings with the site.
Yeah.
And yeah, the data will come to you a lot more information.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Let's coming with the another questions that coming from Pak Swastika Mada, one of our senior lecturers.
Okay.
Pak Made asking you about, menurut saya metafor terdiri dari intangible dan tangible. Lalu untuk landscape juga terdiri dari passive landscape dan active landscape. Metafor, analogi, analogi masuk ke teori morfologi. Bagaimana menurut Dr. Lee? Should I translate?
Yes. Because I try to understand the meaning here. What does this mean? An analogy and allegory. What do it means? Masuk ke teori morphology. If I can answer straight away, I will think that there is no problem if you want to bring in analogy and philosophy under morphology, because for me, concept is flexible. It's always, you can pair with metaphor, philosophy, or you can have three. Yeah, no problem. That's why for landscape, for architecture, I know you can focus on metaphor, but for landscape, you cannot just focus on metaphor. Yeah. Dr. Rudy, is that the question they asked about?
I think, yeah. Dr. Pamade, is it okay, Pamade, the question? Are you still there, Pamade? Okay, I think Pamade, are you still...
Bu Ruli.
Halo, yes.
Aku di jalan ini.
Oke, lagi di jalan. Siap, hati-hati loh Pak. Nyetirnya jangan
tutup. Thank you.
Oke, menjawab pertanyaannya nggak Pak? Terjawab nggak Pak pertanyaannya?
Udah terjawab, bagus.
Siap.
Terima kasih Bu Ruli. Terima
Sama-sama.
kasih Dr. Lee.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lee.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you Dr. Lee.
Thank you. Also. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
your questions.
Yeah. Coming next questions, Dr. Lee from Anali Dayu. She's asking about if the mind problem is a disaster during pandemic, what concept should be used based on the site potential for recovery or evacuation or human-centered design for the evacuation shelter, Dr. Lee? I mean,
Okay.
do you have this opinion? Because that's, I
Oh.
think, the recent issue, yeah.
Okay, I got it. Yes.
For the questions for the landscape architecture for this pandemic during the pandemic, what is the hottest issue for the in the landscape or in the exteriors design landscape?
Okay, I think if you browse through the website, especially in urban design, many urban design nowadays they talk about the space speaking, right? Okay, when you see the pandemic itself, right? Everyone's like have to isolate it, not in the gathering area, not in the crowded of assembly, right? So if you're like in Malaysia, I believe in Indonesia also same, your government will ask you to not to go out, just stay at home, right? So it's a good questions to think about in the design. What should we look at the space making when come to the emergency of the pandemic, like some sort like a COVID, yeah? So another idea can just you are talking about the concept, yeah, beside on the space making, for me is the resilient, how people human can adapt to this the COVID of pandemic. Yeah, I think you can look at these two idea on resiliency, how human adapt to the disaster or the pandemic, as well as on the space making during the pandemic. Yeah.
Or maybe you can give the example, Dr. Lee. I mean, in Malaysia, what they already did for kind of this urban design.
So far, I haven't come across that they have a specific on urban design, but I did. I think I saw one design before. I'm not sure whether this is in Bangkok or not. They try to come out with a urban design, which means that in a urban space itself, we try to have more spaces that where people can like how to say, when we look at some of the urban area, it's all crowded with building, right? All is solid, right? In architecture, we call it all is mass building, very concrete. So now say it's the time for you to think about architecture and space between a building. So you need to give some breath to the space itself so that people can have more like movement in one area. Now everyone is talking about we should give a distance in with someone who next to us, but if we think we should create more spaces that reasonable in the urban area, try to maximize especially the spaces in between the building that can become a common space. So I think it's good. So yeah, especially in the urban area, most if you have all the high rises and the commercial building, the share space among the building space is only the semi spaces or the private, yeah, or the private space. There is a limited. So now why not in urban design or the landscape architecture or architecture design, try to look at the some important space that you can convert into the public area. Yeah, small space is okay, but at least they have some a space for them to movement and a breath for them, I guess. Yes.
We
Space
also
planning is more. Yeah.
planning, put the planning also in between of the architect building and then that space.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
green concept
Yeah.
coming.
Yes. For me, when you do architecture, also no problem. Inside the building, also you need to have space, right? Maybe you have a certain courtyard inside your building. Yes, I believe.
Yeah. Courtyard is become also one solution design. Yeah, I think this is also from coming from local wisdom, because if you see the machia is I believe you know, Dr. Lee, the machia.
Machia, yes.
Machia style is the shop houses
Yes.
in Japan. It's like the Chinatown in Indonesia or in Southeast Asia. Even though they have a fourth floor, third floor, they also still inside have a inner courtyard.
Yeah.
And believe this inner courtyard as a design, physical bangunan, physical building for the air flow, and then that's rumah sehat coming with this concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to encourage kind of this concept
Yes.
also, yeah, green concept.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lee.
Yes.
Next,
Welcome.
we still have one questions, yeah, I think, or two questions coming
Okay.
from Arum. Good afternoon, Dr. Lee. What is the most important point when we design landscape architecture for the tourism destination in rural area? And is giving impact to the village by our design could be the main goal, or it can be flexible choice. So
what is the most important point when design a landscape architecture for tourism? Yeah. Okay. When in UTM we have the program of resource planning studio, which normally we will adopt tourism into landscape design and planning and design. So when we talk about planning a tourism, it's not just to design a very physical, like, okay, you need to provide or propose new facilities to support on the tourism in the village. Okay, first of all, I think you need to understand that type of tourism that you are going to propose in that village. All right. And then the second thing, in aspect of landscape architecture, we decide to look at the space. Planning a program and activity is very important. So when you do tourism, it's like a package, yeah. Implements the program, yeah. So you can do it in the seasonal or non-seasonal. So make it at like a package. So from there, you will see that the design, the spaces that you need to cater when come to do your tourism master planning. Can you understand that? When you do on tourism, as a landscape architect, we are not only looking at the space, yeah. So program activity planning should be coming also as well.
so it's interesting, I think. Or who is the Arnu? Arnu, are you still there? Is it okay for you? Apakah menjawab pertanyaan De Arnu? Is it okay? Okay, I
Anu, is
think
it okay?
okay, Dr. Lee. Thank you so much.
Okay, all right.
Okay, thank you. So we are coming with the next question. It's coming from Ardelia. Oh, Ilham. Ilham, are you still there? You can.
Yeah,
Okay, great. You can directly ask the question going to the Dr. Lee. Yeah.
okay. Good afternoon, Dr. Lee. I want to
Yeah,
ask
hello.
about. Hello. I want to ask about the site visit for the architecture project. Observing site is very crucial, right? But for some reason, we cannot do the live observation or site visit. Is there any replacement or solution for that? And is the virtual data is really valid? Because from the internet, the virtual data from the internet, because sometimes there is no recent data. I mean, like the data is about 10 years old, data or older, like that. Is there any replacement or solution for that?
Okay, Irhams, thank you for your questions. Okay, may I know that your project is also in the village or in urban?
It's in village.
Village. All right. So now, which means that at the moment you have the difficulty to reach for your doing your site inventory, right? And you are
Yes.
lacking. You have found that there are limited of secondary informations Betul?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Since your primary data is lacking, I think you need to go for the another way is like you have to do some imaginary because we found one of last semester we have one studio also facing these issues, which has the student only spend like few hours. I think like only half day. Um, visit the site. They don't have enough of time to cover the whole urban area. Yeah, something like your case. Even you want to do it in a rural or village. What the student have to do is like they need to like much dependent on the Google View, Google Maps. All right, and then another thing is like just try your best because we know that we cannot do much with facing all these constraints. The second thing is like you have to look at the previous studies. I believe that some of the projects, maybe the site that you selected, there is some of previous study. Try to look at any subject that related to that particular village. So maybe you can get some secondary data from the previous studies. Of course, when you search for your site, you cannot just type the name of the kampong itself. Sometimes they will not come out with what you want because you are the architecture student. The aspect that you look at is different from others. So why not you try to search in from beside from the internet, because as I could understand your situations. Is something happened same like in Malaysia too. The record sometimes, especially in the rural area, there is no much informations. But if you can find any written report that related to the village, it will help you. Uh, Another thing, I think you have to go to try to get some information from the municipal council, because from there at least they already have some preliminary reports, I guess. Yeah. So you need to be how to say, you need to be list out what can you get, what you cannot first. So at least you sort that, okay, I can go municipal to hunt for my informations. Besides, I search from the internet because it's no much information on the internet. Yeah. Can you get me or not?
Okay, I get it.
Have
Thank
you
you very
tried
much.
to get it from the government office?
It's because the lockdown, so we can't do the.
Or cannot?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Is your site same with your friends, or you have your own site different from your friends?
Uh, I have
Y-
my own site.
own
There's
site.
only.
Okay. Yeah. If you still have so many constraints that you cannot move on, then my advice is like in another. My suggestion is you cannot make it perfect for this because many information is lacking, and you cannot go to the government office, you cannot find more information from the website. You just can look at uh, you need to add more some of your own imaginations through the Google search, and just view from the Google itself and try to search some of the project that's quite similar to your site. So which can help you, yeah, on that only. Mm-mm.
Okay. So basically, I can make some assumption based on the data that I got from the previous data.
Okay, I cannot say yes 100% to make the assumptions, but you have to prove to your lecturers what is the maximized information or data that you have collected, and how you going to convince them. Yeah,
Mm,
because I
okay.
believe that when you choose this site, sure you have the reason why you want to do this project. Yeah,
Okay.
can you understand not? But
Yeah.
you cannot start with showing your lecturers that I do not know this and that, then you want to do. So this is might be risky for you. But I believe you can do your best to collect as much as information you have.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, all right. I do hope that I answered your questions. Yeah, I
quite
know that there's a constraint. Yeah, totally. But yeah, some of my students also facing these issues.
same, yeah. Because yeah, as we know, the government's data is not fully update, not fully open. Also, when we want to have a data, we should come into the municipality. But sometimes, yeah, because it is during pandemic, it's become a obstacle for us. Yeah. But I think the suggestion from Dr. Lee is going to be very helpful for the students. Where we are in design students, I mean, we should think keep creative, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It all become the opportunities more. We
Yes.
should see this with the another angle. Okay, Dr. Lee, I think because we will run off the time, we will have one more questions. It's coming for Ardelia Jojo. But before I read the Ardelia Jovita question, Ardelia, are you still there? Can you talk directly to Dr. Lee? I think it's better to talk directly to Dr. Lee. Jojo, are you still there? I hope Jojo's still here. But yeah, I can read the question, yeah, Dr.
Questions. Yes, yes.
Okay, good afternoon, Dr. Lee. When we discuss about rural area in Indonesia, sometimes landscape planning come up as one of the solutions to minimize slum image. But as we can see, it doesn't truly bring a sustainable impact as it's slowly turning back into that slum image again. So, Dr. Lee, what is your opinion about that? Are there any specific aspect related to the landscape planning which hold a crucial role to solve this kind of a problem in more sustainable impact?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. When you are, thank you for your thank you for reading the questions, Dr. Ruli. Yeah, I try to answer on Ardidia questions. Yeah, when you talk about the landscape planning, uh, okay, at the rural area, so some people will figure out it's more on like slum. Yeah. Mm, okay. It is depend on cases as well. Okay, when you have this kind project at the rural area, look at the category of the community. Yes, when you give the category of slum, which means the rural area that you have chosen is in the condition of poverty, yeah, in the poor conditions. Maybe they have a lacking of infrastructures, yeah, which like they lack of like water supply and electricity, let's say, yeah. So when we talk about landscape design and planning here, uh, not all the landscape project is put priority on the aesthetic. Okay, I will bring you to back to the issue of slum community first. So when you do a comparison, in urban area and also rural with slum area, you'll find that the needs of the users is different. If you give a aesthetic to users or the people in slum, they won't appreciate. Yes, if you build a park over there, all right, a community park. Okay, if you are helping them to design something, will help them in terms of economic, in terms of they can get the facilities, I think they will much appreciate. So what you need to refine here, I don't see this project have a problem or issues, but it's how you dealing with the issues of the user needs again. You need to know that the some of your users behavior, what is their needs, yeah. You don't put at the aspect that what do you think you want, because you are not living at the area, you don't know what how they are feeling. So if you are allowed to do it on the physical survey, you need to talk to them what actually they want, yeah. For me, if you are putting like a new community park to them, they do not want much appreciate because that is not their needs. Do something or suggest something that can cater from fulfill what if their current needs first. Maybe the aesthetic later. Yeah. Okay, can you understand?
yeah,
Dr.
Jojo.
Rudy, do you think I understand? I I answer
Yeah,
these
you already
questions?
the
Huh?
answer early. We should come back with the base of the design.
Basic, yes, the users needs.
User need, user behavior, who is your client. You should
Yes,
understand well who is your client, because we design some things that not for us but for them. Can
but
be
yeah,
one person, one kampung, one kecamatan, kelurahan, such as like that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Mm.
I think we still have one more question, Dr. Lee, and it's coming
Yes,
from Anna Renha in Nyawa.
Anna, yes.
How to plan and develop current landscape planning and make it function from social process as well as local wisdom.
Oh, the question is very broad. Yeah.
Broad, yeah.
Uh, are you with us, Anna?
Yeah, Enya, are you still there?
Mm.
Enya, because I believe Enya project it was in and East Timor is no, not East Timor, is Indonesia in the Flores. So
Forest.
Enya coming from the Flores, and she has I think good landscape designs for the people near of the pesisir area. So yeah, but I'm not sure with her question also. Enya, are you still there? Because you are confusing with your questions.
Yes, I have confused with you are asking about the landscape planning, how to make it function from the social process. Does you means that when you design a landscape, does the landscape support of the social needs? Are you asking this?
Enya, can you follow up us? Or yeah. Or okay, Sensei, we can answer what we understand.
Okay,
Sensei.
Dr. Rudy, what do you see this question? Because I just understand like when look at the current landscape planning, does the landscape planning make it function from the social process? Uh, okay, when you look at the landscape architecture design, just now in my second slide or third slide, I say that the landscape design is for you to design for people, place, function, and environment. Yeah. So when you design, it's not just think to as I say, you need to know who is your users. Are you design in the context of what type of environment? Yeah. So all of this automatically you have to put it together. You do not separate it. Of course, landscape design and planning uh, is a placemaking. Yeah, you design a space. There is a user for people needs. So automatically, the social the social activities will be created later if your project where you design is successful. If your project is not successful, there is no user. So which means that your socials planning is not achieved. Mm, yeah.
I think I'm agree with you. Or maybe I can give more detailed information, because Anya site it was in the maritime, what in the in the
Near to the sea,
seashore. It's a
seashore.
seashore area, or we call it the Kampung Nelayan,
Oh, Kampung Nelayan. Okay, fisherman village.
the fisherman village. So and well, actually, Surakarta city really in the not in the really in the maritime area, so it's quite a different response, yeah. So when we are thinking on the seashore in the Kampung Nelayan, so we should know. I think it it's better to for us to understand how the cycle life are of how the cycle life of the nelayan itself.
Okay, yes, you are right. Now I get your questions. Yeah. When I look at your project context, yes, Dr. Rudy, you are right. It's another way to look at the different project background. If you study on the like urban, sorry, fisherman village, you have to know that the way of life, how these fishermen, here for me, two things that you need to look at is not only social, the social economic activities also you need to look at, because fishermen they spend more their time outside, to the sea, right? Because they need to get, they have to work, right? So when you plan, if you want to relate okay, so if you want to plan either for the tourism, for the local people of the fishermen itself, think about their way of life first. Secondly, think about their social economic, not social only. This reflects to something like the slum questions. You need to know that what's your user needs. Maybe aesthetic is not their priority, but the functional landscape is their priority.
Can you suggest such as the functional landscape?
Okay.
Maybe it on the space
Okay.
or
All right. Let's say your projects, you are going to do some like upgrading, like their fishermen markets. Why not you look at the fisherman market itself? You create a spaces for them. There is a market as well as there is a space for economic and socials together. There is a space they work, but at the same time they have a space for socialize as well.
and
So
also
when you do a design of this kind of marketplace, I think you can refer like many reference in the Europe. They have sort like they have the market, they have the eating place, they have some facilities. They mix it. So that's why make it more vibrant variety rather than you focus one by one. Yeah. For me, you can look at the study on marketplace. So you can put in the idea on this fisherman village.
so we can comes up with the different activities here, Dr. Lee. It's not just only selling, not just only provide the toko for selling, but also provide the social activities such as the restaurant, food stall,
local
dan selera.
Yeah, for the local products, yes.
Yes, okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Lee. But I think we still have one question. Okay, students.
Okay,
this is the last one, yeah, because we run out the time.
All right.
Amalia Stiani. Hello, Dr. Lee. I want to ask about the strategy plan. Previously, Dr. Lee said to include a design strategy. Then in the concept process, when we decide that this concept is right for solving problem on the site, what should we consider in choosing strategy plan? Or any tips of choosing a strategy plan?
Okay. All right. Not all the projects need a strategy plan, but if you can come out with the strategy plan, is good, because strategy plan is looking for the long term. It's not that okay, when you do a design of project, you assume that your master plan are going to build on after this, right? So what is your planning to sustain your project? Okay, I give you an example on the let's say the urban heritage or urban conservation project. You plan your project for on regenerations. So what are the strategy that you need to look within like 5 years or 10 years? It is some sort like if you want to make sure your project can be sustained, what are the planning that you can suggest? That is, you need some maintenance during your regeneration period, or you need some more economic reviving during this planning. So it's much more related to the theoretical of idea when you write a strategy. Can you understand me not? Normally my student will do a strategy plan like for also let's say on the ecological park, right? In the forest area, you need to show a succession plan. Let's say, okay, when you plan to do something on nature, maybe at the moment you only can cover a green area for one particular small space. But maybe within you have your own strategy plan, you will expand that, you will expand the green area, maybe within 5 to 10 years, it will expand more. So it is more on like how you develop your future planning, but in by control with more sustainable. You do not make you own self to think, but you can find it from many reference. yeah, it's most likely come from the theoretical part to help you. Yeah. Mm. I don't know whether you can get me or not, Amalia. The strategy plan is not say right or wrong, but you uh when you're asking how to consider to choose is like you have to find some material to guide you, which means that you need to refer from the reference. Yeah, because sometimes when you do all this kind of urban or village topic, it's much more on resource management. Can you understand not? In village tourism, all is people, human, and also nature, all these resources management. So now is the time for you how to come out with the management of this. That's why you put in the strategy plan. That's all.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not right or wrong. It's just how you plan in the future for this with the certain periods. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is nice also if you can come up with the strategy plan, so then you will think not only presence but also you will think also for the future
For
to
future.
to
Yeah.
control the sustainable of design. So yeah, we should start to think about that. Okay, Dr. Lee, thank you very much. I think
You're
for 2 hours
welcome.
we have a very fruitful discussions, and I believe all the questions that coming from the students will very give the what impression, give a solution, give the encouragement, give a power for them to continue their study, because this today is I think the mid semester, Dr. Lee. We already coming
Oh,
the
okay.
semester final exams, yeah, and we
Yes.
start to back again for continue for until the final project on November or December. So I believe
Okay. So
all
you have
your
like 7 more weeks to finish your semester, yeah?
yes, it is until the end of December.
Okay.
Maybe I can a bit conclude about the thing and general landscape design concept. Yes, it is. We cannot avoid the landscape design is part of the architectural design, because this is our sites. We should be really understanding what is our site, and good data and articulate data are important for us, because then we can really understand the site. And design rationale should be comes up in the our design thinking, because then this is how we think. Yeah, we are not jumping or suddenly we comes up
Yes.
with a good idea, but we have the background knowledge, we have the background experience, and have a place to explain that. Then it making rationale is will come up with a good design. I
Yes.
believe in that. And the last one that we should know is it's really important to consider is the user need. Who is your client? User behavior also. How the behavior architectural also be observed in this design. Of Yeah, I think that's all for this today's class, and we still have one more meeting, yeah, Dr.
Yes.
Lee.
Yes.
Next on the beginning
Next.
of November with
Yeah,
the
next week.
another class for the urban design. We really hope willing forward to have another content from you that you can share to our students. And then yeah, thank you very much for the 2 hours, Dr. Lee, and the students.
Thank you.
Giving back to Ibu Pratiwi, but yeah, Bu Pratiwi, don't forget to have a family pictures also.
Oh, okay. There is a nice part,
Okay.
yeah, Dr. Rudy.
Yes. Important part,
Yeah,
Dr. Lee.
important. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lee, for the
You're welcome.
informative talk. Thank you, Ibu Ruli. Yeah. Thank you, Ibu Ruli, for leading this discussion. We would like to express our appreciation to Dr. Lee, and lecturer of Architecture Design Studio also, and all participants for greatly contributing to the successful outcome of great lecture. Okay, we would like to apologize for any mistakes during the event, and keep healthy and have a great day for all of you. Please turn on the camera because we have to take a family picture.
So now we can see all the faces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then where are they?
Hopefully we have more time with Dr. Lia, Guru Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah, finally we're meeting ya.
Yeah.
Yes.
Online. Ibu Nunu, how are you? Okay, we are waiting for them.
We are
Deva,
all happy, Buruli.
Yeah,
thank you so
yeah.
much.
Thank you.
I'm also Bang. We halo Olan, Gurda, siapa lagi yang belum buka nih? Oke, Nicole lagi di jalan ya. Okay, let's take a picture ya. Coming from the first session, 1, 2, 3. Cheers. Give the best smile, and then the other one. Let's take a pictures. 1, 2, 3. Hi Zara, Safira, Zoro. One more time. Okay. Thank you. Okay, thank you
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
See
you
you
so
next
much for everyone. Yeah.
time.
Hope to have chance to talk have a discussion with you all again. Thank you so much for your invitation. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Bye-bye.
Dr. Lee.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Student from Malaysia also here, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.